Good afternoon, everybody. I am so excited, and I'll say it to be honest, and a little bit nervous because here we are finding ourselves at the National Engineering Design Competition awards and closing ceremonies. Wow, what a couple of days it's been. We talked about just what a year we've had and how that has been very interesting, right? But here we are having kind of concluded 2 days of just bringing folks together from across the country to celebrate the work of our MESA USA scholars. It's been so amazing to be able to bring students together, to gather in GatherTown, and to actually utilize spaces that hopefully replicated the type of experience that we had hoped to provide if we had had the opportunity to host the event in person. But we are so happy and just glad to have everybody here and for us to be able to close out this ceremony and maybe even do it just a few awards before we close out and be able to celebrate the success of our students, the success of our states, and just get excited for what's to come. Because as we focus on the future, there's a lot of great things there. And I think that I come from that perspective because of the fact that we've seen all of the work that our students have done, and is just so exciting. So with that, I want to go ahead and get us started. So what I thought that we would do is maybe kind of just do a little recap of what's happened over the last couple of days. You might say, well, we were in a virtual setting, like what all could have happened? It was just a few hours each day. I think it was a jam-packed few hours that we had together. So I thought we should kind of take a pause and do a little bit of a review of the National Engineering Design Competition, the NEDC. So what did we do? We started it off with a roll call. We had to make sure all the states were in the room because all the states needed to be here. And we wanted to make sure that all our teams were here and gathered, and so that we could showcase, again, the work of the students, because that's what this has all been about. And so we did that. We had our roll call. We had each state let us know which teams had made it to this national competition. And that was exciting exciting way to begin the NEDC. We also had an opportunity to release a website. And that website, folks had seen it before, but they hadn't seen themselves on it just yet. And so teams had an opportunity to go to that website. These teams, if you're in middle school right now, I want you to go home, tell all your friends and family, you are the focus of this website. If you're in high school, I want you to do the same thing. In high school, you're gonna be able to start to put that on your resume, that you did this work and that this is something that sets you apart when you're applying to colleges and universities and when you're applying for scholarships. That this is work that sets you apart, and it's documented here on this website. And we're going to encourage you that later today that you come back to the website, because while we're going to be making announcements about who are taking away awards from this ceremony, those awards are also going to be documented very nicely on the NEDC website too. So hopefully you'll come back to that a little bit later. But we had a chance to kind of bring up this website. Want to again thank Ray Gulick. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but he has truly kind of put an idea into reality for us, and has done so in such a great way. I want to thank our colleagues from New Mexico MESA, Ling, Anita, everybody who allowed us to utilize Ray's as a resource and to be able to put this together to benefit the entire MESA USA organization. Our thanks go out to our colleagues in New Mexico MESA. Gosh, that was just two things. We still have more. We had our colleague from STEMazing come in and do some STEMazing workshops where you got to explore STEM in an amazing way. Have I said it enough? Okay, I'll stop. But students had a chance to come in and have those exciting experience, had a chance to kind of participate in some of those activities that we hope you'll continue to participate through your middle school years, your high school years, and what we really would like to see is you continue into college and even go into the STEM professions. Because we think that that's great and important. So STEMazing had an opportunity to present to our students. We also had you involved in some hacking and some attacking. We call it Hack Attack. That's a website that one of our former students here from the University of Arizona, he was in a coding class. He had a chance to work with a team that wanted to create an app for ice cream delivery. And he said, I don't want to do that. He said he took on the Designing for Equity challenge, and he said, you know what, I'd rather create a competition that exposes students, underrepresented students, to coding, and I want to launch that through MESA. And that's a former MESA student. We had a chance to hear from a former MESA student earlier, kind of when we did our opening session too, and heard about how Nadira was working on equity on the Navajo Nation. And all that work that she was doing. These are things that we foresee for all of our MESA participants here today and for our MESA participants across the country. So that was Hack Attack. At the end of the day, we said, can you exit the room? And we threw the teams into an escape room environment. I heard people were battling with zombies. There was like madness going on, and it wasn't just the madness of the competition. There were all these different rooms. I heard some great things. I heard that folks were able to get out of those rooms. Every MESA team finished with those times. There was one team that even finished with 30 minutes left. And there was a couple of teams that finished with 1 minute or finished with 2 minutes. And I got to tell you, if I was in one of those rooms, I would have been really, really nervous. But those teams still did it. They put that nervousness aside and they exited the room and they had success, and we were excited to hear about that. And that was just day one, folks. That was day one. Day two, we said, well, they could exit the room, but can they exit the gather maze? And at this point in time, I want to tell you about a resource that we've been very, very fortunate to have. And we just recently have started to refer to him as Bill the Builder. And I'm referring to Bill Pike. I want to give a big shout out to Bill Pike. He has had the opportunity to put together this gather environment. And I would see people running around from the showcase space into their staterooms. They then, we come to the half hour, everybody would start to move around to the rooms that they were supposed to be going to. People were having side conversations with one another. It seemed like we were all together for a moment. Like I would have to remind myself, nah, you're in a virtual space. So I want to give a big round of applause and thank you to Mr. Bill Pike. I want to turn it over to Bill to say just a few words about what it's been like to host MESA USA, the NEDC, to host you as students in this environment. Bill.
Thanks, Rudy. I'm still laughing at the Bill the Builder nickname. First I want to thank the executive directors and the NEDC committee, because without them and all of their hard work, we wouldn't be here. But really, this is all built for all the students who are here. And usually this is a tough competition. But this last year has been even harder on everybody. And what that tells me is that you guys have all persevered in ways that just blow everybody else out of the water. And so this space is really so that you can show off and really have a place that's fun, have a place where you can meet new people, experience new things. And really, from all of us here at Arizona Mesa and the NEDC committee, we really want to thank you for showing off your amazing talents, because everybody in here is awesome. And I got to meet a lot of you and get to talk to you and get to interact with you. We've talked to the technical interviews. I was able to talk to some of you in the maze. And really, you guys are all amazing students. And the fact that you're here right now is just proof of how amazing you are. This is why, building this space for you and building the website is really because we know how awesome you guys are. So thank you for coming today. Thank you for participating in MESA, and I hope to see you here next year. Hopefully, I'm going to meet some of you in person. And then, if you're a graduating senior, I know you're going to do well wherever you end up. And so keep pursuing those goals. You are amazing engineers, scientists, and keep going.
Bill, any note that you want to mention in regards to success in the Gather Maze?
So I want to give a shout out to Bridger from Oregon, because you were the first person to figure out the boat riddle. And it was the hardest one in there, and only a couple people did it. And even some of the adults were giving me some really weird answers, but Bridger, you were the first one, so congratulations on that.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna take a real quick call real quick, sorry. Yemeni? Okay.
So while Rudy's on the call.
Well, Bill, sorry about that. Bill, just last thing before we move on from Gather Maze, apparently there's still a student in the maze. You could check the chat. If you could get them out of there, we'd love them to see the final kind of ceremony, if you don't mind. Thank you, sir.
Nope,
Appreciate it.
I'll get in there, I'll get them. Thanks.
Thank you, Bill. All right. So again, we'll thank Bill for kind of creating this environment to be here for the students. We're just such a great thing. I even heard there was a Minotaur in the maze. I don't know what that was about, but some crazy things were happening. I don't think that Bill had kind of built that into the environment, but somehow it got in there. So then after that, we had a little Shishibo demonstration that we had a chance to kind of see students go into this space, have an opportunity to just kind of learn a little bit more. These inventors, we had an opportunity to talk to them. They were able to jump on the call with us. These little things that help us to maybe think outside of the box, right? To think outside of the box. And who knows, when you think outside of the box, what we learned from our students is that maybe, if I could get that to focus, maybe not, that we have some stars among us. So just a little bit about that Shishibo presentation. We were glad to kind of bring them in, and it was interesting as I had a chance to kind of interact with the folks from Shishibo that they've actually been using this around areas of social good. And so it was really, really interesting. They've been doing some work with the Boys and Girls Club. They're actually kind of using it to see if it can help a variety of different people in different ways. And so it was great to interact with them as an organization and as an example of people that are using STEM and also STEAM, right? That art, that important art component within STEM to do some social good, which, sounds to me a lot like designing for equity. And so that was really cool that we had a chance to bring in the Shishibo folks. And Shishibo stands for Shape Shifting Box. Everybody might know that already. I just thought it would be cool to kind of say it one more time. So, all right. Then, if that wasn't enough, we had an opportunity to provide some college tours. You might be saying to yourself, like, what do you mean college tours? We're a virtual environment. I heard that Corey from Grand Canyon University was running around the campus in Phoenix in the heat. And she had a chance to kind of take students around and get them into some labs and have students kind of share their experiences because we want, almost with any one of our MESA events, we try to give some exposure to college campuses because that's the next step. These academic and career pathways within STEM, they go from middle school to high school to colleges, and then to colleges and universities, and then into professions. And so we wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to kind of give some virtual tours of both Grand Canyon University and also the University of Arizona. And so we were very grateful to those people who kind of helped us to bring that all together. Oh, I forgot. We also were doing this thing called the National Engineering Design Competition. So we also had that. And so what did that involve? Well, every single student here was probably saying he better talk about the technical interviews because every single student in here was probably sweating a little bit, feeling some of that Arizona heat. Even though we weren't here, that was something that we were able to replicate during your technical interview because it was important for that experience. That's what we all go through, every single one of us. These people who are right here in front of you, who are going to be presenting throughout this closing ceremony. We've been there. We've had to give presentations where we're nervous. I'll tell you right now, I'm a little bit nervous. Heat's gone up just a little bit in my room, but we wanted to give you that experience, and you all excelled. Listening to Manny, listening to Bill, Manny Leon, our assistant director here in Arizona MESA, listening to Bill Pike, who had an opportunity to kind of just allow you to enter into the room. They could tell as you walked into that room and as you stepped out of that virtual room that you all had done great and that you had presented yourselves in the best manner possible. And that was awesome. Technical interviews were great. What else was involved in the NEDC? Well, we had an opportunity. Everybody here took one extra step. They recorded their pitches before even getting here to the National Engineering Design Competition. And we had an opportunity to view those pitches. And, I love the fact that Manny and Bill came up with the idea to do the Kahoot, because everybody was so intent on the details. They could tell us who was the client that was being served, what was the equity that the students were trying to work on, everything about these the pitches. And so folks participated in the pitches. They participated in the Kahoots. Manny, Bill, I don't know if you know who were the winners on the Kahoots.
We do have that information. So on day one, for third place, it was Corey from Arizona. Second place was Mila from Arizona. And first place was Mao Yu, and I think she's from Maryland. And then on day two, and I just dropped my paper, so give me just a second. Okay. On day two, technical challenges, I apologize.
I've got day two, Bill.
Okay, I've got them too.
Awesome.
All right. Day two, it was Kara, and Kara, unfortunately, I don't know what state you were from. On second place, it was Aditi from Maryland. And in first place, it was Frankie from Oregon.
Very good. Congratulations to everybody. Just really appreciate that the students took the opportunity to learn about each other's project, and to just be able to jump into those, watch those. That's been a highlight as we've been able to gather in person to watch students provide their pitches, but to watch them in this virtual way with these pre-recordings was really great. And I know it was something that was very important to our directors across the country for us to be able to have the students talk about so much of the work that they were doing and to be able to document that in this way. And then, of course, we had the poster symposium. And, this again, the student showcase room was great. We were able to have people walking around. I believe some of our judges even came in and were able to walk around in the showcase room and be able to see the work that the students have put together. Many of them kind of focusing in on the posters, these academic posters that were developed, that oftentimes we see here at the university level from our university students. But they had an opportunity to walk around a room where middle school students and high school students had put these academic posters together, again, showcasing the work that they had done in their project, the equity that they were trying to bring about through these projects. And it was just very impressive. Had a chance to look at the number of people that we had in the room. I think we had close to 60 people that were walking around in the room, having conversations with folks from across the country, taking advantage of the opportunity to network with students from across the country. Who knows, you might be in a university setting in the future. You might be even in a different state. You might be sitting down in that engineering classroom, in that science classroom, could be an art class, whatever class it is. You might turn to the side and say like, oh yeah, I was part of this program called MESA. And wouldn't it be a darn thing if that person says to you, like, I was there. It was the year they did it virtually, and it was so cool. I remember coming up to your poster and kind of learning a little bit about that. That was the opportunity for folks to kind of be able to network and get a little bit more from this national community that we've been able to bring into that gather space. So that was 2 full days, and we're wrapping it up today. Very, very exciting. And we were so grateful to be able to be hosts for all of our states. I wanted to take a moment and have our president from MESA USA to provide a reflection on the last couple of days and help us to, again, look forward to the future and focus on the future as we leave this competition and as we come into the next year. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce Dwight Carr, Executive Director from Maryland and also President of MESA USA.
Hey, everybody. Rudy, thank you so much for the introduction, and thank you so much for the reflection. Hopefully what I have to say isn't too repetitive. So film producer Robert Rosen said that self-reflection entails asking yourself questions about your values, assessing your strengths and failures, thinking about your perceptions and interactions with others, and imagining where you want to take your life in the future. So it's in that spirit we think about this past year. In September, from lingering social unrest, we had National Hispanic Heritage Month, returning to school. In October, uncertainty about school, how to vote, uncertainty about everything. In November, Native American Heritage Month, elections, remember those? In December, COVID spikes, holidays. January, insurrection, inauguration, developing our MESA projects. In February, MESA USA Design for Equity campaign, Black History Month, still trying to put together the designs for our projects. In March, yay, vaccinations, Women's History Month, and regional competitions. April, lowering infection rates, more competitions. And also there was returning to school in a hybrid way. And in May, we had fewer restrictions. We started to look again about what returning to normal meant, virtual statewide competitions. And in June, travel started to commence. We started having in-person graduations, and finally, nationals. So I just wanted to kind of walk us through this last year, just some of those really key events that took place. That's the context in which we had to operate as human beings this past year. That's the context we had to go about communicating with our relatives, our friends, and our loved ones, the context in which we had to go to school and learn, the context in which we had to go and figure out how to do MESA and how you do a hands-on competition virtually in this setting, but we figured it out. So I want everybody to take a minute to relish, kids especially, relish everything that you've accomplished this year. Take some time to remember this moment, whether it be virtual or not. It's a special thing to get here, especially under these circumstances this year. I want you to take time to think about the many hours you spent on your projects. Think about what you learned about collaborating virtually, how you've persevered through hard challenges throughout the year. And also, I want you to think about how you might use what you've learned this year to make advancements towards your futures. Hopefully those in STEM, especially if you're considering a STEM major and hopefully a STEM career. Hopefully many of the kids and people you interacted with over these past 2 days, and in this year in particular, are folks that you'll run into along your life journey as you start to figure out what you want to do. Don't forget, we're here to help you. So when you're looking for that internship, when you're looking for that job in Maryland, Arizona, or California, reach out to your MESA family for help. That's what we're here for. I want you to also think about how you might use STEM to fix major problems facing our society and our world. So just like Nadira Mitchell from our keynote address said, she never won, but she's making an amazing impact in her community now as a STEM major. So that's what MESA is really about. It's not whether we walk home with trophies or not. It's really about the journey and what you've learned along the way. And for those of you who decided to participate in this journey this year, you all have learned especially valuable lessons that few will be able to understand. So remember that win, lose, or draw, you're all an amazing group of students. And now, after a full 2 days of excellent virtual programming, it's time for me to stop talking, and it's time for us to move towards the awards portion of our program. Now, before we do, I'd like to say thanks again to our students, our advisors, parents, and other guests for staying so engaged over the last 2 days. One of the major challenges that we've had in education throughout this year is just keeping the cameras on. And from what I observed over the last 2 days, everyone did a phenomenal job of that. And so hats off to you, and I applaud you. And much of that wouldn't have been possible without the amazing team from Arizona MESA. Rudy, I'm sure you know this, but you have an amazing staff who are able to pull off something that gave us a really close to in-person feeling. I really felt like I felt in previous MESAs in person. So I don't think it gets any better than this virtually. So hats off to you and your team. You all are an amazing group of people. And we thank you so much for all that you've done today to make these last 2 days special. So that's all I've got to say. Thanks again for allowing me the privilege to lead the MESA USA organization and attach my name to something that I am so proud of. Rudy, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dwight. On behalf of the Arizona team, we appreciate your leadership, and we thank you for your very kind words about the NEDC event this year. We want to, we're getting so close to the awards. We're so close. We want to start off by getting some fresh perspective too, in terms of folks that have come into this event and seen it for the first time, maybe even for the second time in what's been a slightly different way, this virtual conference that we had this year. But we want to go ahead and start off and introduce from the great state of Rhode Island, Dr. Cornelius Keys de Groot.
Well, hello, everybody. I just thought it was so much fun to just roam around and hear all the conversations. And I did not really participate in anything or make any contributions, but it was just such a bubbly, lovely environment. And so I can't wait for Rhode Island to be a bigger part of this, and Rhode Island students to participate in this. So I just want to thank you for including us in this event, and we look forward to many years more. Thank you, and congratulations to everybody. It's just amazing, just amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for that, and we're excited about having Rhode Island join, and excited in hopes of having teams for our 2022 National Engineering Design Competition. So thank you so much for being here and for giving us that very new perspective. I also wanted to ask my colleague from Rocky Mountain, Colorado, to provide some perspective as well. Cynthia had a chance to come to our National Engineering Design Competition in 2019, had an opportunity to see that event in person, has been working there in Colorado to build up MESA over the last year, which we know kind of has had some challenges that we've experienced all across the country. And we're excited for her to bring teams also forward to the 2022 national competition. With that, I'm going to introduce Dr. Cynthia Howe.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be back again here. And this is the best part because it's at the end. I have to tell you, from being able to see a competition in person and then also doing one virtually, I really question, how are these students going to be able to bring their energy, share it with others, get people excited about the projects that they've built, and in a virtual world. And I have to tell you, you did it. And it has just been amazing to watch this whole thing unfold. There are a few things that I'm going to walk away with or take away, and many things that I'm going to remember. But first, I want to say how delightful it has been, literally, to witness your brilliance, your creativity, your teamwork over these last couple of days. And also, I really looked at these projects and I said, you know what? Someday these young people, and with their projects and ideas, they're going to make a difference in the world. I walked away with that just from your own presentations at this point. It has truly been an honor to be a part of the MESA family. And I think you've gathered now that the MESA family is much bigger than you are. It's not your school club. It's not your state. It's also national. It's all of these people that have gathered here to celebrate you in this competition and to cheer you on from here forward as you move forward from middle school to high school to university and into your career. And it was really just as our keynote speaker had shared with you, that's what the MESA family is like. We're here to move you on and to celebrate you. And you have celebrated us and honored us by bringing your projects to this national competition. It has been exciting. And I'm ever so grateful to be a part of this MESA family. It is going to make a difference for us in Colorado, no doubt. I also wanted to say that the last couple of days you brought your best. We could see that and we could feel that even through this flat virtual wall. And thank you for that. And in a few moments, we're going to hear who the winners are. But I want to remind you, just like Nadira did, you're already a winner. You won your state competition. You won the privilege to come here to a national competition. And that privilege is going to take you places now and into the future. So definitely everybody here is a winner. So what I'd like to say from Rocky Mountain Mesa, I want to say thank you again for sharing everything that you've shared with us, all of your projects, all of your energy, and we're going to take that back with us to create our organization and to bring some teams. I'm going to challenge you. I want to see you next year here live. For those of you that aren't seniors, we're going to be in person this next time. And my challenge is Rocky Mountain is going to be there to compete with you. I'm looking forward again to seeing you in the future, but now I'd like for us to move on and let's see who those winners are.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. Really, really great to have you with us, and we're excited to add both Rhode Island and Colorado to that mix. And who knows, maybe we'll have another MESA state coming into the mix next year. Excited for that growth. Excited for more students to have the opportunity and to expose more students to this Designing for Equity challenge, and to get students thinking about how can we make a difference in equity through STEM. So very exciting. At this point in time, I'd like to recognize my colleague from Utah, Charlene. Charlene's gonna come up and she's also gonna share some closing words. And right after that, I'm gonna ask her to help me to start to make some announcements about our awards. But first, I wanna give Charlene an opportunity to say some words. Charlene.
Oh, thank you, Rudy. And thank you, colleagues and friends of MESA USA. From Utah, we welcome all of you, and it's been great. I've been watching some of the activities with our students and our other MESA leaders. This has always been a pleasure for me. I look back on the years that I was able to participate in MESA, but more importantly, in the last, well, maybe 5 years, when I've been able to be the director of MESA Utah. And at this time, I'm announcing, I just barely announced to my colleagues that I would be retiring. In fact, who's counting? But I have, what, about 6 days, so many hours, so many minutes, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, it's been a pleasure to be in education. But more importantly, I'm really excited at this time to take a couple of minutes to introduce the incoming MESA Utah director, David Gomez. David, just wave a little. Yeah, there you go. That's David Gomez. He will be the director of Educational Equity in Granite School District. And part of that will then delegate to him the opportunity to be the MESA Utah director. And along with him, we have Miss Rebecca Ibarra, and she is the associate director. Some of you remember Michelle Loveday, who worked with me as well previously, and Michelle is now in another district. And so we welcome Miss Ibarra as well. I just want to share a little bit about David Gomez, and I'll probably get a little teary-eyed, but his father, the late Richard Gomez, was very instrumental in starting MESA Utah years ago. And so with that in mind, it's full circle. David, you know, your dad's wanting you to carry this on. And so we look forward to your continued leadership with what your dad and everybody else has done through the years. It's 35 plus years and going strong in Utah. David, did you want to say a word or two?
Charlene, MESA is in our blood. It will stay in our blood. We are going to continue to make Utah a force, love MESA, love to grow it on a national level. I cannot come close to filling Charlene's shoes at all, but we're going to give it our best shot. Love what it does for kids. And so thank you. I look forward to getting to know all of you at some point in time. And so turn the time over to you, Charlene.
Thank you. And so once again, thank you to all of you. In my Hawaiian language, me ke aloha, me ke aloha, me ke aloha. Gratitude and thanks to all. Thank you so much. Rudy?
Charlene, our gratitude to you. We welcome David and Rebecca. They seem to have been longtime members of the MESA family, literally. So we welcome them and we look forward to what they'll continue to contribute to the organization. But Charlene, I want to take this moment and just on behalf of all the directors across the country, I want to say thank you for your service. You have definitely provided your leadership to MESA there in Utah, and we're just really grateful for all that you've done. David, in his words, speaks to how those shoes are big shoes to fill, and we recognize all your contributions both in Utah and then also across the country through MESA USA. You've been somebody there that has contributed, and we're just very grateful, and we wish you the very best. And we look forward to crossing paths with you as we continue on our journeys. And so thank you very much, Charlene. And Charlene, before you leave, I'm going to have you help me with kind of announcing some folks here, because we are about to announce our first set of awards. So with that, we are going to announce the design brief, Designing for Equity. And we're going to announce who is winning that bronze medal. So I'm going to unveil it, Charlene. And then if you don't mind reading off who is bringing home bronze medals for the design brief in our Designing for Equity Challenge, it is...
Drum roll, woo! Costa Mesa Middle School, California, yay, round of applause. Bronze medal for design brief, Designing for Equity.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Charlene. You're going to continue with us throughout the whole design brief opportunity here. For those of my directors that are on the call, I'm going to ask you to unmute yourself and then help us to celebrate as these students are recognized from these different states. So we had Costa Mesa Middle School for bronze medal. Charlene, if you could help me with the high school design brief bronze medals.
All right, design brief, Designing for Equity, Skyline High School, Utah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So those are our bronze medal winners at the middle school and high school level for the design brief. We're gonna go ahead and move on to the silver medals. And to go ahead and announce silver medals for the design brief, I'm gonna turn to Charlene.
All right, our design brief, Designing for Equity silver medal.
Do you see it there already?
I don't see it. Do you?
Can't see
Not
it.
yet? Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. Let's do it one more time.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
Chaparral Middle School, New Mexico, silver medal.
All right.
Designing for Equity.
Congratulations.
All right.
Uh,
Next up, we've got high school. Try it again.
All right, Designing for Equity.
All right.
Cool, Maryland. Yay, Maryland.
Woo, Maryland.
Silver medal. Woo.
All right, great. Now we'll move to gold medals for the design brief, Designing for Equity. Turn it over to Charlene here.
Oh, Team Technologic, Maryland.
Right.
Gold medal.
Awesome.
Yes, yes, yes.
Awesome. Congratulations, Team Technologic. We also kind of have our high school.
And Designing for Equity High School, gold medal. Oh, Costa Mesa High School, California.
All right, congratulations to Team Technologic and also Costa Mesa High School for earning those gold medals in the design brief, designing for equity portion of our competition. And next, I am going to call up Sezi Fleming, who's representing Dr. Gregory King, to provide some words on behalf of Washington, and then we'll proceed with some awards.
Sure. Thank you so much, Rudy. I just really want to, again, thank the planning committee. I think you've done an amazing job. I certainly want to send out a shout to all of the students. I'm hoping that you had a wonderful time. You got inspired, you felt engaged, you learned something new, you got to know some new people. You certainly took some risks, I can see. And most importantly, I'm hoping that you had fun. I myself had plenty of fun moving into spaces oftentimes where I was watching the students participate in many of the different activities. And it was just amazing to watch that kind of engagement. On behalf of someone who has attended this event for the very first time in the virtual space, I can concur with the things that I've heard thus far about creating a personalized and a close atmosphere in a virtual setting. I am in awe. And I think I look to the students more than anything of you constantly remind us. And as someone who is a proponent of, and someone who has studied equity and looking at how do we unravel and unpack inequities across this country, you continue to inspire us to be better, do better, and think deeper. I thank you for your creativity. I thank you for being very creative and for very innovative around ideas for responding to inequity. And again, being a gentle reminder that we need to lean into complexity. So how do we show up and give our best, even when the best isn't often our setting? Thank you.
Thank you very much for those words, Sezi. And I'm going to engage you, if you're okay, with helping us to announce the technical presentation and interview awards for the National Engineering Design Competition. We're going to start off with our bronze medals. Here we go.
We have Costa Mesa Middle School, California. Woo-hoo! Fantastic.
All right, congratulations there. Next up.
For our high school, Next Gen Academy, New Mexico. Woo-hoo!
Right.
Congratulations.
Yes, we'll move on to our silver medals for technical presentation and interview, Designing for Equity.
Okay. Ooh, Team Technologic, Maryland. All right, congratulations.
Awesome. Next up.
For our high school. Let's see.
Oh,
All right, Costa Mesa High School, California, our silver medals. Congrats.
All right. And moving us into the gold medals, technical presentation and interview.
All right, Chaparral Middle School, New Mexico. Woo-hoo! Gold is
All
good.
right. And up next at the high school.
Skyline High School, Utah.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Very good. Thank you, Sezi, for helping us to announce these. Congratulations again to all the teams in regards to the technical presentations and interviews. We definitely recognize Chaparral Middle School and Skyline High School for those gold medals. And we are gonna now have an opportunity to hear from Dr. Zhang with Oregon. Tong.
Thank you so much, Rudy. And thank you again to the entire Arizona team for hosting and doing such an amazing job in creating such just an exciting and interactive experience for all the students. I just have, one really quick thing to say, which is just that one of the most important things, I think we've talked about the great things about MESA and this experience, and it was alluded to a little bit earlier, but the most important thing about MESA is really the relationships you build. I get the opportunity to meet MESA alumni from different states and those who end up landing in Oregon. And people talk about the fun experiences they had building the challenges and having the trips and everything. But the thing that they always go back to is the relationships that they build with their teachers and with other students. So I hope you had an opportunity to meet some students in other states. That's one of the greatest parts of nationals, is being able to interact with students from the other teams, and that those relationships will carry on past this event. So thank you again to all the students for having participated this week.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tong. I'm going to ask if you might help me to make some announcements
Of
about
course.
our poster for the Design for Equity, beginning with our bronze medals.
All right. So for bronze medal, we have Team Technologic from Maryland. Yay.
All right. Great.
Then we have Skyline High School from Utah. Congratulations.
All right, great. Go ahead and move to the
Silver
weird.
medals, I'm assuming.
silver medals. Let's do it. Silver medals.
It kind of looks gold.
For the silver medals, we have Costa Mesa Middle School in California. Hey,
California.
congratulations.
Right.
The high school level. Next Gen Academy from New Mexico. Congratulations.
All right. Moving into gold. Don't expect necessarily gold on the slide, but we're going to move.
Gold or green.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Gold medals, posters, Design for Equity.
We have the middle school level, Chaparral Middle School from New Mexico. And then at the high school level, Costa Mesa High School in California. Woo! Congratulations, everybody.
All right. Thank you very much, Tom, for helping us to announce those awards for the poster and Designing for Equity. Again, recognition to those teams that place, recognition to all teams, of course, in recognizing Chaparral Middle School and Costa Mesa High School as gold medals in the poster Designing for Equity piece. I'd like to call up a good colleague from California, the first MESA state, Mr. Thomason.
Thanks, Rudy. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I think I'm probably going to echo what a lot of my colleagues have said. First off, just again, a fabulous job by Rudy and Bill and Manny and the rest of the Arizona team to put on an exemplary event. I think I felt the same way when I went to my first MESA Day a couple of years ago in Arizona. Despite the heat of the desert, the organizers remained cool and calm and collected and delivered an outstanding event. And I can say the same thing here. One of the things that I've spoken to my family about was that, being in quarantine and being in COVID was, a terrible thing for our society, but we have to also look at the silver lining for, us as a family. The opportunity, my wife and I had the opportunity to work from home. And so that meant that we spent a lot of time with our two daughters who are 10 and 12 years old. That's an opportunity that most parents did not have or will not have. And it was just a blessing for us to be able to get to know each other and to develop our relationship as a small family. And I sort of feel like that's something that happened with us at the director level and with the staff. I think despite the hardships of being in a pandemic, I think it was a banner year for MESA USA. So many great things happened. I think this event, as much as Rudy and his team were responsible for the creativity, I think everybody pitched in terms of testing out platforms and sharing experiences and doing trainings together. Our monthly meetings have become a joy rather than a chore, which is, the difference is stark. And so when we announce the winners, yeah, I'm proud of the winners, but really I'm just proud that we are all here together. I love the passion that the students share for engineering, for science, for art. And we joke about, or we talk about family. Well, what is family? It's people that we may not see every day, but we share values, we share the same passions. And I think all of us feel that when we get together, whether it's virtually or in person. Once you know that someone's a part of MESA, you have something to talk about, you have something in common, and that's the feeling of family. So for all the winners, for all the participants, for everyone who put their heart and soul into your entries, I'm proud of you. We are all proud of you, and it's an honor for me to introduce some of the winners today.
Thank you very much, Tom. We really appreciate your words and that great reflection that there are silver linings, right? And that we need to kind of recognize those, or take a moment to kind of appreciate those, and also make sure that we're noting the lessons and the opportunities that have come from a challenging time, but there still are those lessons and those silver linings. So thank you so much for reminding us about that. I'll ask Tom to help us out with announcing our medals for prototype pitch, designing for equity. Bronze
who I think is the winner overall. There was an entry that talked about helping people with color blindness. And clearly there's a need right here in the slideshow. Anyway.
I even used the official MESA USA colors and I'm still getting slack, but that's okay. That's okay. Next time I know.
So for the bronze medal for the prototype pitch and the Designing for Equity competition, the winners are Team Technologic of Maryland. That's the middle school, and McDaniel High School in Oregon. Congratulations. Both state flags, I believe, have these colors in them.
I don't know.
Oh, no, maybe I'm thinking about the University of Oregon's colors. Sorry. Okay, and for the silver medals, clearly silver, prototype pitch, Designing for Equity, the middle school silver medalists are Costa Mesa Middle School from California. And for high school, it is Chiawana High School in Washington State. Congratulations. And for the lavender gold medals in the prototype pitch for Designing for Equity, the middle school recipients are Chaparral Middle School from New Mexico, adding much hardware to their cabinet. And for high school, it is Skyline in Utah, Skyline High School. Congratulations.
All right. I want to thank Tom for helping us with announcing the prototype pitch medals. I also want him to thank him for recognizing our team that's working on the identification of colors, which we will be reaching out to that team to help us with our PowerPoint presentation in the future. So thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. Next up, we would like to introduce, I believe we have Ling via phone, but from the state of New Mexico, we'd like to introduce Ling Faith Hertz to go ahead and share some words.
Hi, everybody. So sorry for technical difficulties today. Just from New Mexico, Anita Gonzalez will actually be reading the screen since I'm on phone. And be able to read to help with the next part. But on behalf of New Mexico, I think we're just saying the same things all of our colleagues have said. Thank you to Arizona for hosting, for creating such a great virtual space, to all of the parents and teachers and students for the amazing work you've put in. With that, I'll turn it over to you, Rudy, to Anita for announcement, because I know it's just killing some people to know what the next awards are.
All right. So the next awards, because yeah, I think what do we have one more set of awards still? Oh yeah, we still have the overall awards, which we changed from medals to trophies as we move into that announcement. So I'm gonna take a brief pause, let everybody kind of feel that pressure right there. And I'm just gonna do one kind of real quick shout out. We want to go ahead and thank our students, all of them, right? All of them that have put so much work into this event. We're going to thank the parents and families of those students and all the support that they've provided throughout this entire year. Many of them may be kind of checking out this live stream, and very grateful to all the families that have seen your students to get to this point. We want to thank our advisors, those teachers who, beyond the teaching of their classes in this very challenging environment, said, I'm going to show up for my MESA students to help them to be their very best, to possibly arrive at the National Engineering Design Competition. And we've got some of those advisors that were able to work with their students, to be there for their students. So we want to recognize those advisors. We want to recognize the MESA staff from across the country that comes together. Sometimes it's not always seen, but comes together to kind of do this planning, to create these events, to create these experiences that hopefully will impact students, but more importantly, hopefully will impact equity across this country, is really what we're all here up and all about. I want to also thank our sponsors. I want to thank Microsoft. I want to thank Raytheon. Microsoft and Raytheon have been great supporters here in Arizona. I know that they support equity initiatives across the country, and I want to give them thanks for everything that they do to make STEM opportunities available to students and to schools where sometimes these STEM opportunities might not be available. So my thanks, my long-term thanks to Raytheon, and my thanks also go out to Microsoft for being sponsors of this great event. And with that, I think we can go ahead and start to kind of move into the National Engineering Design Competition. Overall, Designing for Equity. Anita's going to help us to announce third place. Anita?
I'm so excited. Everyone's been probably waiting on the pins and needles on their end. So our third place trophy goes to Middle School Team Technologic from Maryland. Congratulations.
All right, great. And at the high school level?
And at our high school level goes to Next Gen Academy from New Mexico.
So I want you to imagine those third place trophies, right? And I want you to imagine a trophy that's just a little bit bigger than the third place trophies, because we are about to announce, guess what? The second place trophy. And thankfully, there's not colors associated with second place trophies, because if not, we'd have Tom kind of coming in and talking about the color association with second place trophies. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Anita to announce our second place trophy.
And our second place overall middle school, handing the trophy over, goes to Costa Mesa Middle School from California. Congratulations. And now our second place for our high school team goes to also Costa Mesa High School from California. Congratulations, California.
Awesome job.
And
now
our first place overall winners. I know everyone's super excited. If I can do a drum roll.
Drum roll.
And our middle school first place team.
So this is a trophy that's just a little bit bigger than the second place trophy, which is a little bit bigger than the third place trophy. So at the middle school,
goes to our overall, goes to Chaparral Middle School from New Mexico. Oh. And now our high school overall champion goes to Skyline High School from Utah. Nice. Congratulations to both of our teams for winning the 2021 Mexico Mesa NEDC National Engineering Design Competition.
Very,
Let's
very
go
good.
Mountain Time Zone.
Yes.
Something in
woo!
our water. And maybe daylight savings time. I don't know.
We want to again congratulate the teams that we were able to recognize with trophies, and recognizing Chaparral Middle School and Skyline High School from New Mexico and Utah, respectively, for winning those first place trophies in our National Engineering Design Competition. We, of course, want to congratulate all of our students, all the middle school, all the high school participants for the work that they have done to get here and for their work over these last 2 days to showcase so much of what they've taken away. That important reminder that we had from the Nadira, that what do we take from these experiences and how do we move forward? Those trophies, we may forget about the trophies, but we also have these experiences, and we hope that those experiences are longstanding, that you take this idea, this concept of designing for equity, and you take that into your academic pathway from middle school to high school, into a college, university setting, and that you then take that into your professional lives where it can have such a great impact. You're gonna be able to have an impact throughout that journey, but we look forward to seeing and hearing about the impact that MESA students will have as they continue on in their journey. We are really, really excited to also be announcing today that while the state of Arizona has been very fortunate to host our National Engineering Design Competition in 2019, and then this year virtually in 2021, that we're excited to announce that next year, the 2022 National Engineering Design Competition will move to New Mexico. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought we'd give Ling an opportunity to just say a few words in anticipation of hopefully being able to gather in person and to have a great event in 2022 in New Mexico. Ling.
Thank you, Rudy. Everyone, congratulations. What an amazing job. Like all of you. This is fantastic. So excited for each of you. And I'm super excited that next year we will be able to host in person all of you in New Mexico. So we'll be able to give you a warm New Mexico welcome, show you our beautiful painted skies, and help you answer the question, is it red or is it green? And that has nothing to do with the presentation today. It has everything to do with your flavor palette. And then finally, you could help us all celebrate our 40th birthday next year as part of MESA and the MESA family. So we're super excited. And I think in the words of our California director, I'm looking forward to seeing all of you next year because I plan on giving each and every one of my MESA family, MESA USA family, a big hug when I see them. Back to you, Rudy. Thanks again. We hope to do half the job you've done being hosts out of Arizona. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Ling. I want to thank Anita also from New Mexico MESA. We're super excited and we are confident with all of our MESA states that regardless of where the National Engineering Design Competition, we're always excited to be able to attend those events and to gain so much from the experiences and to see our students prosper in those environments. So we want to thank again New Mexico for taking on the National Engineering Design Competition next year and for having also been very graceful in allowing us to host in the second year when the pandemic kind of changed our plans last year. We're very grateful to New Mexico for allowing us to have this opportunity to host virtually. So our thanks to our colleagues. And then finally, we just want to say thank you on behalf of Arizona MESA from a great team. And I just want to kind of recognize Manny Leon, our assistant director. I want to recognize Bill Pike, our coordinator for MESA. They have worked so hard for so long to be able to make this event possible. They have built digital worlds to make this happen. They have relied on partnerships. They have called on our colleagues across the country to bring forward this experience for one reason, for our MESA USA students. And for that, I am eternally grateful to these two colleagues for their professionalism, for all the work that they put into this event. And on behalf of Arizona MESA, we just say thank you to everybody. And we wish you a great rest of your summer. And we ask you to continue to focus on the future. And we look forward to what each of you will bring and continue to showcase as MESA scholars in the future. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. And we give you our thanks from Arizona.